Hi everyone, I'm Desmond Fambrini. I'm a learning specialist here at Expressions LLC, my education firm. And today we're going to be talking about kids and their ability to speak on camera. Well, you may think, well, it's not safe for kids to be on camera, and you actually have the complete and utter moral high ground because you are right. Safety is always the number one concern. However, I'm not necessarily even saying that you need to have a kid on camera and to post it. In fact, kids should, for all intents and purposes, be entirely shielded from most of social media. There's a lot of predatory behavior that goes on social media, and you have to be extremely careful. And with that said, you do want to protect your children's image and your students' image. So always treat children online with utter care. Your kids, your friends' kids, whoever, if you're a kid, be very careful about putting your image on social media. But with that said, it is very important to learn how to speak to a camera at a young age. We are in the digital era, and at this point, it is almost doing a child a disservice to take media away from them. I'm not saying you need to give your kids access to Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. In fact, if I was going to be honest with you, I say to most parents that the kids should not have these apps yet until they're around 13, 14, or 15. I honestly find it extremely inappropriate. They're too dangerous. They could be exposed to too much. It's a bad idea. But saying that kids should have social media and saying that kids should be able to experiment with how to use a camera is completely different. I had a student actually kind of earlier today who said that he wanted to try recording something, and he did, and he listens to himself, and he starts crying. Now, of course, I had to calm him down. I'm like, well, why are you crying? And he goes, do I really sound like that? And fun fact, I had to be honest, you actually do sound like you're on camera. You do. I don't know if you're aware of this, but when you actually speak, your vocal cords are vibrating, and that vibration gets picked up by your bones that has a certain amount of density. So those low frequency vibrations actually get picked up by your own ears, and your voice sounds a lot lower to you than it sounds to other people. Your voice is actually significantly higher than the way that you hear it. So when you hear yourself on camera and you go, that does not sound like me. Actually, that is the sound everybody is hearing. And it's good to be exposed to this as a kid. Did my student cry? Yes. Did we post the video? Absolutely not. He was very, very upset about it. But then he started saying, oh, well, maybe I could do this with my voice, that with my voice. Can I make my voice lower? Can I make my voice higher? What can I do? Can I experiment with different ways to sound on camera? Yes, you can. And it is a teachable moment, and it's important. It's important to learn how to create content and get in front of a screen, because when it comes down to it, we are in the AI digital era, and kids need to know how to record themselves and their ideas to be able to go on to be adults that know how to record themselves and their ideas. As a child, you don't need to be a child star. In fact, I'm happy that we stopped making those, because most child stars ended up with severe depression, drug and alcohol addictions. But with that said, it is important to learn how to speak in front of a camera. Trust me, it is a skill that comes in very, very handy. You should practice it from a young age. I did, and I'm not gonna lie, it worked out. I hope you have a good rest of the day. And of course, I hope this helps everyone.